get started. I think got a good crowd here. So I want to thank you all again for coming. The third webinar of the three-part series. I thought the first two went really, really well. And once again, we've got two of our best strategic business partners on with us today. One being RubberTree with the lovely Taryn, and she'll be going over their CRM and BI product along with Warehouse 2, which I think you'll be really, really impressed with. And then we got the infamous Mike James from Informa. They are our business partner with document imaging, e-signature capturing, and a lot more. So I think you're really going to enjoy this today. So I'll turn it over to Taryn and let her work her magic.
All right. Is it possible for me to share my screen, like for someone to give me permission?
Yeah, do I have to do that?
I think so. Sorry to ask ahead of time. But while Bill's doing that, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Taryn with RubberTree Systems. So I was actually a previous user of TrulinX at Care West Company up in Wisconsin, and also a user of RubberTree. So I was looking to kind of learn more, kind of find a different industry, and Brian, the founder of RubberTree, ended up getting in contact with me, and it was a kind of perfect fit for us. So I do know the TrulinX world. I'm always excited to have a chance to talk to you guys, and I'm excited for TripNet in June. Bill, you are distracting me with your screens.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's awesome. Congrats.
Thanks.
All right. So you should be seeing RubberTree Systems on the screen.
Beautiful.
Okay, cool. All right. So just a little bit about RubberTree, if you're not already familiar with us. So we pride ourselves in being very customer and support focused. So what this means is we're constantly striving for the best levels of support we can. And we also want our enhancements to be driven by customers. So all our products have been very customer driven. They drive the features in the current version for TrueLink and Tribute. They're actually having or asking for features that are just for them. So that's going to change a little bit, but also we're going to keep bringing that customer feedback in. So we have with our team, I have a screenshot of some of our team members, but we have over 100 years of combined experience in distribution software and in distribution. So a lot of, like me, I come from distribution. We have a couple other members that were also RubberTree users that came to our team. But we were recently developed in a power and transmission distributor in Ohio. And really what it came from was Brian's dad wanted to see, well, you know, I have all this stuff in my ERP, but I can't take my ERP with me easily. It can't go on my phone. It can't do anything with that. So he came up with RubberTree Systems. We partnered with Tribute shortly after that, and we've been great partners ever since. And then in 2020, we acquired a company called WebQuery. So it's a BI reporting tool. I'll get into that a little later. And then we also acquired Warehouse 2 last year. So of all our products, so you might know our mobile sales as TrulinX Mobile. I know it was marketed that way for a while. It really is a Salesforce mobilization and analytics dashboard solution. So what I mean by that is we're taking that ERP data and giving you, displaying it in a mobile format or a different type of format. WebQuery is a real-time reporting solution. It's kind of like it's a BI tool that's purely reporting. We have an add-on that does like the visualizations if you want to, but really the power in that one is the reporting tool. And then we have ValueDocs as a cost savings, and then the inventory sharing with Warehouse 2. So how we're connecting to TrulinX and Tribute is we actually do a direct connection to your server and wherever your Tribute or TrulinX lives, and then we pull from it. So you notice how the arrow is mainly driving towards RubberTree Systems. So we're mainly pulling data today. We do have a write back for context into TrulinX, but we'll talk about more of the sending information back to the ERP in a little bit. But the biggest thing that we strive ourselves in when we're pulling this data is we want penny accuracy. So whatever you see in Tribute or TrueLink, we want you to see in RubberTree. We feel it's that can be valuable if it's not matching. And it's also hard to get sales reps on board with using it if the numbers.
We lose Taryn.
All right, I'm sorry about
Oh, there we go.
Is she back?
Still can't hear you.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, my headset decided to randomly mute itself. Interesting. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So like I was saying, we strive for penny accurate data. It's actually funny, when I got RubberTree, when I was still at CareWest, it was eye-opening because I looked at the data differently than I looked at it in TrueLinks. And we actually had a couple tickets where like, oh, we think this data is not matching, this inventory is wrong. No, the inventory wasn't wrong. We just didn't ever look at this inventory before because it was an outside location that we usually did. It was a sales reps location. So it's just kind of funny, like how you get different visibility when you join RubberTree. We strive ourselves in being intuitive to use. We know not all sales reps are going to use TrueLinks or Tribute. They're not going to learn ERP, so we try to make it as easy as possible for them to get that data. And then on the Warehouse 2 side of things, we actually have a two-way sync to TrueLinks. We do have some sync capabilities with Tribute. It's a little bit more limited than what it is in TrueLinks. So just a benefit there to be living in TrueLinks. But what I'm showing you here is actually this person is searching their inventory right in TrueLinks, and they're having Warehouse 2 items show up below. So it's really easy to search your inventory, and maybe you don't have it, but then you can see another distributor does have it. And it even gives you details of who to call, how to call them. You can also put in order instructions if you order from them a specific way. Maybe you have to do a credit card or something like that. But this is something that, and then along with that, we can also send data from TrueLinks to Warehouse 2. So you can automate your inventory uploads. Inventory that's uploaded most recently shows up first. So it's it's very beneficial to get that uploads going every day. We do have documentation that you can set this up yourself. That's not very technical, but the TrueLinks team is always happy to help support that too. I know they have worked with customers to do different things with Warehouse too. So, all right. And then also, we're coming out with a couple new products this year for TrueLinks and Tribute. So our first one is our mobile sales. Like I said, you might notice TrueLinks. So what it is it's basically an analysis and display type of software for your ERP data. So that includes your sales, orders, production, inventory, AR. You can see contact information. You can see a bunch of customer information, reorder, inventory. It's really easy to look up a customer and get everything in one screen so that you can see all the orders, everything like that. We also have a cool maps feature that you can route based on your customers and prospects, and you can see who's in your area. Maybe you're out selling and you have time. And then there's custom alerts, as well as we do bring in production order information and dashboards. So we know a lot of TrueLinks users use that production data. Not sure how much production stuff we bring in from Tribute, because I know that's more limited on the production side. It's more the belting stuff. So, and that's something we're going to keep growing. So what's coming? So we're kind of going to bring it back to RubberTree. So it's a much more modern look, as you can see on the right-hand side compared to that last one. We're also going to give you a lot more ability to customize things. So right now we do custom alerts, but this will give you more logic to decide if the customer orders something over a certain amount, or if it's a certain group of customers or a certain product, you'll have more of those ability to send you an alert. So that way, anytime an order is entered in TrueLinks, you could get an alert through RubberTree. We also are going to have customized dashboards, so you can build a dashboard for your reps or for your CSR team or whoever and share that out. It's going to be very component based, so you're going to be able to pick and choose, but we're also going to start with a template. So if you would go with this and you had TrueLinks, we'll have like a TrueLinks defined template, so you don't have to start from scratch yourself. You can start from what is important to TrueLinks users and then work your way from there. We also are going to have TV displays, so pick tickets, CSRs. We're looking into potentially a production order display. It'll be a lot faster than the version we have now. And then there's just other cool things that we're working on. We're gonna have dark mode finally, which is cool. APIs, so you can connect with other integrations. So that brings me to my next slide. So we're actually doing calendar, email, full sync with like around Q3. We're also working with SparkIQ to do an AI pricing integration. We'll be working on our production dashboard. So because the production data is pretty complex, that's in TrueLinks. I mean, it's build the material in assembly within assemblies. So it's not simple data, right? So that one will come a little later, as well as our marketing integration. So we're looking at how can we make it easier for everybody to use their contacts that are in TrueLinks and get them to their marketing software. We're looking at tons of other integrations. So we're all ears if you have any ideas or if there's something that you use and you'd love to see it integrate somehow between TrueLinks and RubberTree. And then we're also looking at a native app. So you'll be able to just have it right on your phone, use it without the internet. Right now, our app is web-based. So you're actually in a web browser. So you can use it on phone, tablet, computer, anything like that. All right, so the differences. So with this next version, we're coming out with a brand new tech stack. And it's going to make it a little different for us how we're interacting with that ERP data. So unfortunately, we're going to run into limitations on the Tribute side. It is going to be available for Tribute. It's just there's going to be a lot more available in TrueLinks. So what does that mean? So when we pull that data, right now we're only pulling it. We're looking at how can we send data back to TrueLink. So if your rep is on their phone and they're entering information, maybe it's an order or a quote, can we write that back to TrueLink? So we're looking into that right now with the TrueLink team. The data is going to get a lot faster. So our goal is to get below 30 minutes. We'll probably get to more like 20-minute time frames. So you're getting that near real-time data. So especially when it comes to inventory, and if you're using an e-commerce solution where you're posting your inventory, it is great to have that closer to real time. Tribute will likely stay around an hour. TrueLinks, it'll be out first. So we're hoping to have it out in June, looking like maybe July, depending on the time frame. We still got to go through beta, so of course I'm saying summer. But then Tribute's going to be a little later. It's going to be Q4. And then when it comes to data, it's just going to be a little bit limited. So we're going to be able to bring in a lot more from TrueLinks. When we pull the data, it's easy for us to read SQL tables that are in TrueLinks, and that's not there for the back end of Tribute. So it's just a little bit harder for us to get all of the information that's there. Not to say it's not possible, it's just there's going to be a lot more available in TrueLinks. All right, so, and then our next product that's coming out for TrueLinks is WebQuery. So WebQuery is a reporting tool. So really what you can do is you can take any, I shouldn't say any, but we can pretty much map everything in TrueLinks. It's just not all going to be available right away. You're taking that ERP data and you're making custom reports. And then another great thing is you can schedule them. So it's designed for any level of technical user. It's technically running SQL reports, but you don't have to know anything about SQL to use this product. So that's pretty great. The scheduling report is really nice. TrueLinks has a lot of great canned reports, but if you ever are the type that you're grabbing two reports and combining them, or you want to email out those reports, this tool will allow you to schedule that report, and then also it'll allow you to just build that one report instead of grabbing from multiple places. So it just saves a few extra steps. It can be sent to other internal users. It can also be sent externally. So if you want to build a customer report, maybe they require you to have an open order report that's sent to them every Tuesday. You could easily build that with this tool. It is role or permissions based, so just like you have in TrueLink, our RubberTree is the same. You can decide what data your users have access to. So maybe you don't give them the financial data in TrueLink and you want to keep that the same in WebQuery. We can definitely handle that. And they are real time. So at least in the case of TrueLink, as soon as you're running that report, it's hitting that server and it's pulling back the information that you requested. There's also a really cool module in this called comparative time. So this is something that it gets more into the analysis section. So you can compare multiple time periods. As you can see here, we're comparing like a GL report just between, I think it's 2 quarters, just to see, okay, what is this year compared to last year? But you can do a number of comparisons. You can choose your time frames, you can mix and match. You can also do dynamic. So what I mean by that is you can set up a report that's scheduled out and it says every time the quarter ends, I want you to report on last quarter. So it's really easy to set everything up to do that. And then we can export to PDF, Excel, or CSV. Right, so again, there's going to be a little differences between TrueLink and Tribute. We're still evaluating how quickly we can pull that data with Tribute. Most likely we'll have to pull that data into our server to run the report. Whereas TrueLink, we can just look at your SQL data and say, hey, what's the current data in here for this order? And it'll pull it back. TrueLink is very close to being ready. So our release timeframe is June. And then Tribute will probably be around the same time frame that our new mobile comes out for that. So we'll be able to continue expanding our data sets and fields versus Tribute will be limited. So what we mean by a data set versus the data field is when you go into TrueLink and you have your customer master, that's a data set. So everything that falls into that customer master is going to be a set. And then a field could be, I want to, or they're on my email campaigns, or they're a user or an OEM or whatever that looks like. So we can get pretty specific in the data we pull in. All right, so that's what I had for you today. My information is here. If you can contact me directly, you can also go right to our website. We have a contact form there and some more information on our products. And then if you follow us on LinkedIn, so we're constantly coming out with product tips and stuff like that. So we're going to be teasing our new product a little bit more. You can see more of that if you want to follow us.
Great job, Taryn. And it's some exciting stuff. That's really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm super excited. When I saw WebQuery, when I got to RubberTree, I'm like, why don't I have this? Like, I'm a TrueLink customer. Can I have this?
So
wow.
So do you write the apps on the PC, then you send it to the mobile, or is it or can you do it right from the mobile device?
What was that?
The web queries, can you do them? You have to do them from a PC, or will you be able to do them from the mobile device?
So it's its own software. So you'll be able to. So right now, WebQuery and RubberTree are still separate.
Okay.
So you would log in just like you would RubberTree. You're going to log into WebQuery though, and it works really well on a desktop. It's kind of easier to see those reports. You could use it on mobile. I think most people don't, just because when you're building a report, you're not building on a phone.
Gotcha.
But you definitely can do it. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep. And then we will be looking at how we integrate the two products together in the future too. So
Good.
Hopefully we'll be able to consume that WebQuery data on the mobile side as well, and maybe it creates a report for the sales reps or something like that.
Excellent. Cool. All right, we're going to turn it over to Mike James here at Informa. He's going to wow you now with all his magic and his phenomenal products as well. So I'll turn it over.
Well, thanks so very much, Bill. I appreciate the kind words. We're certainly excited to be here today and being a long-term partner of you guys. It's been a great experience. We've gotten to know a lot of your customers really well and help bring some of our technology to them. So we're excited to be here. So I have a little presentation, and I'm going to right now stop my video so you don't see the back of my head. as I go ahead and start a share here with hopefully a little mini presentation here that you guys can see. Hopefully you can see all that.
Yep,
Bill?
you see it, yep.
Perfect. So what I thought I'd do is just take a few minutes to talk about Informa, kind of who we are as an organization, then talk about what we've done with our document imaging integration with TrueLink. We're super excited about it. We've added some features. We'll talk about some new features too. And then we're going to launch in and just do a test drive, kind of use some typical business cases to let you see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So our big summary, just a little bit about our core values, kind of a quick business case, why you would want to use our document imaging system with TrueLink. And then again, we're going to talk a little bit about the demonstration, show you how it's used and some typical use cases for why you might want to do it. One of the things though that I wanted to really mention is that when you really add the two products together, ImageQuest and TrueLink, we really think it's a 1 + 1 equals 3, 4, or 5 in terms of the power that you get out of combining it. Because one of the challenges you have in the general TrueLink space is they do a great job on the ERP side of the house, but in the classic distribution case, most of the customers, it's a wild paper organization. You're dealing with everything from pick tickets to packing lists to customer orders to accounts payable invoices to packing lists. There's a tremendous amount of paper that flows through for each and every transaction. And that's where we come in and help automate all that stuff and really get that stuff under control as part of that. Our vision as a company is really by leveraging our software and technology and our integration experiences to really create smart and hopefully seamless digital ecosystems. We really want to work very closely with our customers and our partners to create really smart solutions that are scalable, that can be leveraged and can make an impact in your organization. And the other thing I'll mention too is we want to make things easy to go use. There's nothing more unsettling than to get and acquire technology, but now you got to have a PhD in rocket science to go use it. If you can't make it easy for people to go use, we think you've missed the mark, and there's huge operational value to making things of that nature. So just kind of a little bit about Informa there. And why Informa with our document imaging system and TrueLink. And as I mentioned earlier, it's really all about getting that paper under control. It's about how do you pay suppliers better, precision, and how are we charging customers, and reducing manual intervention around all the various AP and AR processes you have, and how to increase that customer experience, and both in terms of answering questions on the phone, and as you'll see with those of you who do a lot of counter orders, how you manage that. It's about saving money. Industry standards are that when you move a typical office worker from paper-centric to electronic-centric methodology, you save anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 per office worker per year. So not only are you're saving money by doing this and increasing productivity. One of the features that we've recently released is the ability to take accounts payable invoices, either scan them or receive them as PDFs, extract line item detail, and now feed it directly as an EDI feed into TrueLink. And again, industry standard numbers are, it costs you about $15 an invoice to process manually. If you make it electronic, that number drops to $4,000 and to $4 per invoice. And so if you're just doing 5,000 invoices a year, that's a lot of money you're saving as part of that. And it also is the basis of a platform for future enhancements. Over the years, TrueLink has continued to embed functionality into their product that works with ours. We'll show you an example today. And that continues to be true for future roadmaps. So you help with technological obsolescence as part of that. And again, what we do is take those commonly used documents in TrueLink, packing lists, pick tickets, counter orders, accounts payable invoices, packing lists, AR invoices, and customer POs, and they either scanned or actually fully come in electronically, and then we manage that. that paper disappears and is entirely electronic. So there's no more operator errors or misfiled documents. You can't lose things. And for improving customer service, especially in organizations that have multiple locations, now everybody potentially can have access to everything if you want to do that from a security model. And that really helps improve your customer service. We have digital signing, not only for counter orders, but now we have a module that any document stored within our repository can be sent externally via DocuSign for digital signing there. And we include some statistical reporting, which we'll show you there briefly. And again, getting back to how it helps, if you're the CEO or general manager of a distribution, you're looking to how do you increase velocity of sales? How do you reduce costs? How do you increase levels of customer service and maybe increase your competitive advantage over others? And how do you increase profits? Those are the kinds of things you're looking for. And you have pain points. You want to minimize risk. You want to improve compliance. You want to increase operational scale. A lot of users in the TrueLink space that I've talked to have seen their business grow enormously over the recent time frame. So how do you do all those things as part of how we help as part of that? So just a little bit of quick education on how we work. We really standardize our documents based around document types: an accounts receivable packing list, a warehouse pick ticket, a counter order receipt, an AP invoice, an accounts payable packing list. Those are document types. And then where we differentiate from the competitors is for each document type, we have what are called attributes. Attributes can be things like sales order number or customer ship tos or pick tickets. And we tag each document with those attributes. So now you can do very, very granular searches and find very specific documents using data that you're ordinarily used to in terms of TrueLinks. And you'll see some examples of that as we move through some of these things. So let's take a bit of a test drive and talk about, again, attributes: sales order numbers, counter order numbers, invoice numbers, all you're familiar with there. A commonly asked question is, how do documents get into ImageQuest to begin with? And it really depends on the document types. Things like packing lists, things like pick tickets, typically those are scanned, and it depends on the workflow. Either can be done real time or done at the end of the day. But there's important information that are written on those documents that are really useful in terms of proof of delivery documents. And so those are typically scanned. We automatically index them. We automatically store them into the system. So once they're scanned, they're in the system, but that's typically how they get in. There are other documents like counter order receipts and AR invoices that literally automatically show up in ImageQuest. You don't have to scan them. You don't have to index them as part of the process. Those images and documents show up within there. There are others like accounts payable invoices. If you get them electronically as PDFs, we can actually, via email as an example, we can actually connect to the email box and actually bring those in electronically. So they show up again without any scanning or anything of that nature. Customer POs, again, typically can come in via emails, and so we can add those automatically. So most documents get into the system via automated import processes. The only real exceptions to that typically are your internally produced pick tickets and packing lists and things of that nature. The other thing I'll mention also is we do a lot of post-data enrichment. You'll see an example of that, where we not only store data, but when events occur within TrueLinks, we update information about the documents in our repository. I'll show you an example in a few minutes, but one that comes to mind is accounts payable invoices. As your AP invoices run through TrueLinks and get vouchered and paid, we actually go back and update those documents with things like the check number, the check run number, other information to give you more ways of researching and finding information as part of that. There's a complete security and privacy package built into it. You can really customize it to your own needs. We obviously do full text search, but the real value is the additional attributes that we store there. And again, the key thing there is easy to use. So, having said all that, let's launch into a couple sample cases and see what we can show here. So, and I guess I timed out, so let me log back in. There we go. So this is a Windows app, just much like TrulinX. And you'll notice that it looks very Windows-esque. We have Microsoft Office-esque. We have a ribbon bar on top with it, which is context sensitive. And the whole idea of ImageQuest here is you look for documents. This screen area on the left returns a list of documents matching a search criteria. On the right is a preview of the document for the selected document. And then down here at the bottom is typical information about that particular document that is selected. It could be notes, it could be history, could be a number of things about the document. So we're going to impart on a search here and we're going to do an advanced search. And I just want you to know these are all attributes or metadata of documents that are all searchable within the TrueLink space. We're simply, for now, going to say, just give me a list of all AP invoices I have and do a search. And up will pop a list of invoices that we have in the system that are accounts payable invoices. And you'll notice across the top here, we have metadata of this when it was put in the system, vendor invoice numbers, purchase order numbers, vendor purchase from, vendor IDs, the purchase order types is part of this, lots of metadata for each and every document as part of that. Again, this is just a complete list of invoices, but this would pertain to any search that you would do in the system. Again, showing you the images there. One of the things I'll mention is that this grid here is completely configurable. You can lay it out and store the layouts as you want. And it's searchable and sortable as well. As an example, by clicking on this invoice column, you sort all those records by invoice amount. And you can see here we had one $39,000 invoice. You can do things like group. If you drag this voucher type up here into the grouping area, you can see that we've actually grouped all those invoices by voucher type. In this particular case, this type or voucher type no counts or PO required or no PO. So you have all kinds of ways of manipulating this data to suit you as you like in terms of doing that, and it's really very powerful there. So let's talk about some real typical use cases in terms of how you would use this system. And I'm going to go do what I call a quick search. And again, this is completely configurable with the fields that you would typically use to search. And what I'm going to simply do here is do a search for, give me all documents with PIC ticket number 4293. And if I do a search here, what ends up happening is here's one that came back. It's a packing list. Showing the customer PO, the sales order number associated with it, the PIC ticket, and here's the actual packing list here on the side. You can see that the warehouse person circled this and said it was shipped and put his initials here. And this is really useful in terms of cases where not only do you store the documentation, that you don't have to do the paper storing anymore, but it helps answer questions like, the customer didn't pay their invoice. And they said, well, I never got a copy of the packing list. So the customer service rep can simply say, well, let me pull that up for you. Here it is. And just by right-clicking on this field here, you can do a email document. And it will pop up and ask for the email address that you want to send it to. The document's already included as part of that. And then, bam, you've just sent a confirming copy of the quote-unquote missing packing list to the customer. So it makes it really super easy to talk about increasing customer service. And again, this could be across any of your offices located throughout the organization in terms of doing that. let's take another example here of a different pick ticket and show you some additional information that is part of that as well. In this particular case, I did a search for pick ticket 4540, but notice that actually two things returned here. One was a warehouse pick ticket, which you're seeing here on the right-hand side. And also, there was an accounts receivable invoice that was associated with that as well. So the nice thing in this particular case, since those two documents share this common attribute called pick ticket number, you're actually able to see other documents associated with that particular transaction, which is kind of cool. One of the things we did a few years back was integrate digital signature with counter orders. For those of you who do counter orders, you know, the typical process flow is a customer comes up, you know, you print 2 copies of the counter order receipt, you give one to the customer, you have the customer sign one, you keep that. At some point, you got to go, a clerical person has to go file it and put it into the file. And so a few years ago, we crafted a digital signature solution to that. And let me show you what that kind of looks like as well. Let's see if I can get back to that screen. Oh. There we go. And now let me share my other screen here. So hopefully this is a screen that those of you who are used to using TrueLink, you have some familiarity with. This is the counter order maintenance screen where you're actually collecting dollars in this particular case. So we integrate a digital signature tablet that looks like this, that would sit at the workstation of your TrueLinks right there. And that's what it looks like. And at the end of the counter order process, when you go to check out, what ends up happening when you press the checkout button, what will pop up is a digital signature capture using that capture tablet that I just showed you there. The user would sign it, and then when you accept the signature, kind of the cool thing about this is, and I'm going to cancel this just for sake of discussion, but what would happen is a copy of that counter order would be printed out. You hand that customer the copy of it, and then the other one is instantly electronically filed as part of that. And kind of the cool thing is there was an additional feature built into TrueLinks for inventory transaction history inquiry. If you pull back items that have images in our image repository, you can right click on it, and there's a new pop-up that says display document. And if you click that, we'll actually go out and find and retrieve that document as part of that. In this particular case, it was a counter order receipt with the signature down here at the bottom. So we're now integrating digital signature with counter orders, as well as ways of retrieving images directly from TrueLinks there, which is pretty cool and pretty exciting. Going back to some of the other features we have with ImageQuest as part of that, we do a lot of issues with accounts payable invoices. So let me do an example with that. I'm going to take a accounts payable invoice number, the vendor invoice number of this. See if I have that right. And yes, up pops an accounts payable invoice that was scanned and showed up in your system. That was from that vendor. And notice that we include things like PO number, the vendor order numbers, vendor purchase from, invoice amounts. All those things are part of the metadata for that particular record. And the other kind of cool thing about this is it allows me to show you some other features. I mentioned earlier that we do post data enrichment. In this particular case, you can see if I hover here where check number is, there's a check number in there. There's a check run number in there. There's a check date that's in there. So after this was run through TrueLinks, we updated the information. So now when you look at this record within ImageQuest, you have a lot of information there. And the really cool thing is, if you wanted to do things like, well, I want a list of all invoices that were paid by this particular check number, you can simply right-click on it and say Find Similar. And it will return a search of all the documents that were paid with that particular check number. So there's that one we talked about, and here is the second one. So again, using this smart attributes here, it allows you to do some very interesting things in terms of searching criteria and things of that nature as part of that. The other thing I'll mention also in terms of capabilities, for some of the advanced versions, you can actually tag all these fields. So let's do a sales order number for this particular one. So if you wanted to find out all the documents associated with the sales order number, you simply key in the sales order number. And notice what happened was we returned all these documents. This is a list of all documents with that sales order number. And so you have the complete history of what happened for that particular sales order number, everything from the AP invoice to the quote request to the customer quote. Any of these documents that you're capturing would get associated as part of that, which is really pretty cool. Another feature that we recently added to it was the ability to send any documents in ImageQuest through DocuSign to be digitally signed externally. So as an example, this is a quote which is in ImageQuest. There's a button right up here that says DocuSign. So you can select the document. If you click on the button, what happens is it brings that document in through your corporate DocuSign account portal, and then allows you to add a recipient to that quote. I'll add a name here, the email address. You then just drag where you want them to sign and maybe a date signature piece. And if you hit the send button, it will actually send that document out to that via that email address. They'll receive it. When they digitally sign it, it will automatically come back into the system. You'll get an email notification that occurred. And then we actually will show a revision to that document. And if you look on the second page here, you'll see that it's actually been digitally signed. So the cool thing is, you can, for any document in ImageQuest, you can send it out to the portal, have somebody sign it. It will come back in, automatically notify you, and shows up as a revision on the document. So some really cool things that we're doing in those particular places that we think is really pretty exciting there. So I'm gonna go back to one other thing and talk just a little bit about our ImageQuest package. Really comes in 3 versions based on the functionality that you want. We call what we call IQ Basic, IQ Mid-Level, and then our fully featured IQ Pro product, depending on what features and product sets you want in as part of that. It's typically installed on-premise, just like TrueLinks, but if you want, you can install it in Azure. We managed to craft a joint process with TrueLinks, so it's sold as a subscription, which is billed monthly from TrueLinks. There's a small training and setup fee, but other than that, it's just billed monthly as a subscription, and it's really pretty affordable. We really wanted to get this technology in the hands of people as possible. So again, depending on the version, it starts at only $2.99 a month, so it's really pretty affordable there. So covered a lot of material. I could spend all day talking about this, but certainly want to thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, that's great. You can certainly contact us. You can contact Bill's team at TrueLink to find out more about it. So Bill, back to you, sir.
Thank you. I'm quite impressed. You've done a lot since we last spoke.
Yeah,
that's
really
a lot
there.
Wow, it's really impressive. So you guys did a both great job. I'm so excited to hear about all the new stuff you guys both have. It's really, really, really exciting, actually. So thank you guys both again. I really appreciate it. Hope everybody found it informative. And I think you know how to reach both of them. If not, you can call Jeff, myself, Ray, and Lorna, and we'll make sure we take good care of you. So everybody have a good day. Thanks again for coming. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I see everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.